and he allegedly had been wearing a wire for the last 2 years.
I'm 22 to 24.
Yeah, well, prosecutors state that these transactions and the informant's recordings played key roles in linking Lil Durk to the murder-for-hire plan. There's a guy named OTF Jam.
Despite spending 12 years in Illinois correctional facilities, Jam kept his silence. The streets respected him for it. In a world where silence meant survival and betrayal meant death, Jam's loyalty was unquestioned. He was considered one of the real ones, someone who had proven their worth through the most dangerous form of loyalty, silence in the face of the law. At the same time, while Jam was locked up, a young Lil Durk was rising to prominence. In 2010, Durk had started building his label Only the Family, OTF, which started as a collective of friends making music. But the name would go on to represent more than just rap. It would become a symbol of trust, loyalty, and at times, violence. OTF wasn't just a rap crew, it was a hybrid organization with roots deep in Chicago's gang culture. Durk and Jam were brothers in arms. While Jam was serving time, Durk was out in the streets of Chicago, building the OTF empire. Their connection was about more than music. It was about brotherhood and surviving in a city that was constantly at war, both musically and in the streets. When Jam finally made it out of prison in February 2022, he came home to a drastically different world. Durk was no longer the young rapper grinding for a record deal. He was a mainstream star. Durk had managed to achieve everything that someone from their environment could only dream of: fame, fortune, and respect. His music, a mixture of personal pain, street anthems, and a raw portrayal of the Chicago struggle, was now heard across the globe. But with success came an even greater price. Durk's rise had also escalated the beefs that had been brewing for years. The death of King Von in November 2020 left a wound in the OTF crew, and debts needed to be settled. In the street code, debts weren't paid with money. They were settled with blood. This is where Jam's return intersects with one of the most high-profile federal cases in hip-hop history. Upon his release, Jam wasn't just a free man trying to get his life together. He was brought back into the fold by Durk, treated like family, and blessed with financial support. Durk gave him $50,000, got him a new home, a new car, and even covered his legal fees. This was more than loyalty. This was an investment in brotherhood. Jam was treated like family and showered with love, respect, and money. But while Durk was investing in loyalty, Jam was allegedly investing in betrayal. According to federal investigators, Jam had been secretly recording his every move, every conversation, and every deal he was involved in. These weren't just casual conversations. They were detailed accounts of illegal activities, conversations that allegedly linked Durk to a murder-for-hire plot. The feds weren't just listening. They were building a case, and Jam was at the center of it all. While Durk thought he was showing love, Jam allegedly used that trust to build a federal case against him. What began as a story of redemption quickly turned into a nightmare for both Jam and Durk. Jam had allegedly been wearing a wire for 2 years, collecting damning evidence during one of the most crucial moments in Durk's career. The RICO case against Lil Durk and OTF was being built in the shadows, and Jam was the one feeding the feds all the evidence they needed.
Jam get out that jam, I'll give him 50, he ain't gotta ask again, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gotta ask, bro. He said he gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying? Can you tell us how much he gave you, or you don't want to even?
No, shit, no, we ain't gotta give him all that, but bro made sure he made a way for me to be straight, like he's saying, gotta ask again, you know, like shit. Free a car.
Court documents, the alleged betrayal is described as a deep and calculated effort on Jam's part. Federal agents claim they have recordings that show Jam documenting everything: financial transactions, coordinating plans, and payments for the murder-for-hire plot. It wasn't just about informing the feds, it was about setting up a complete case that would eventually put Lil Durk in the crosshairs of the law. As if this story couldn't get darker, the details of the alleged plot are chilling. The attempted murder on Quando Rondo's life was more than a simple street beef. According to investigators, it was a carefully orchestrated hit that ultimately went wrong, killing an innocent person instead. But the motivation for this alleged plot goes deeper, stemming from the murder of King Von in 2020. For OTF, Von wasn't just a rapper, he was family. His death left a hole that needed to be filled with revenge. The feds allege that Jam was in the middle of it all, recording conversations that tied OTF members to the plot to take out Rondo, even going so far as
Wired.
Very ironic name. Because
Jam
now
got
you
him
put
in a
everyone in a
jam.
jam.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This.
offering music industry opportunities and cash rewards in exchange for the killing. Jam's involvement in the murder-for-hire conspiracy wasn't just about betrayal on a personal level. It was about the total destruction of OTF. The feds weren't just going after Jam, they were after everything he had been trusted with. The inner workings of the organization, the financial records, and communications that would eventually lead to OTF's unraveling. The psychological toll that Jam must have faced is unimaginable. While Durk trusted him with love and money, Jam was allegedly working with the feds to take it all down. His role as a covert informant was both a psychological and emotional manipulation that lasted for years. But the damage had been done, and once the allegations became public, it was already too late to repair the damage. With the story of Jam's alleged betrayal gaining traction, the internet exploded with rumors. The most shocking of all, Jam was allegedly killed, his death a direct consequence of his snitching. However, these rumors were debunked when it was revealed that the fatal shooting shown in viral footage actually involved another rapper, CJ, not Jam. Despite the truth coming out, Jam was already marked for death in the eyes of the streets. The rumor mill continued to spin with talk of Lil Durk ordering Jam's baby mother to be killed as a form of retaliation. While these rumors remain unproven, the very existence of such claims speaks to the brutal reality of life in the streets, where the consequences of betrayal are often more devastating than anything the law could do. As the legal proceedings continue, Durk's trial has been delayed, now pushed to October.
This is a hereditary reward that's gonna go on forever. People that love Von, even fans, I ain't even talking about his real loved ones, just fans. People gonna have a problem with them.
October 2025. The delay reflects the growing complexity of the case, with new evidence and plea deals emerging almost daily. The outcome of this trial will come down to cooperation. If the feds can get enough people to testify consistently, Lil Durk could be in serious trouble. But if the testimonies become inconsistent, the case could fall apart. But one thing is clear, OTF is on the brink of destruction. With multiple core members arrested and more arrests looming, the impact of this betrayal will be felt for years to come. The legacy of Lil Durk and OTF is now under attack, as the federal government has used the very same loyalty and family ties that once held the group.
According to the indictment, multiple individuals tied to OTF coordinated the plot and discussed payments after the alleged attempt on Quando's life. The plan allegedly involved offering music industry opportunities and cash rewards in exchange for the killing of Quando.
Together to build an insurmountable case against them. At its core, this story is a reminder of the devastating consequences of living by street codes in a world governed by federal statutes. The old rules of loyalty and silence may no longer protect you when the federal government has access to the most advanced tools for infiltration and surveillance. Jam's story isn't just about one man's betrayal, it's about a systematic dismantling of a criminal organization that once prided itself on brotherhood. In the end, Jam's betrayal didn't just cost him his freedom, it cost him his life. And for Lil Durk, the man who once called him family, the price of success was higher than anyone could have imagined. When you're playing street games with federal consequences, the house always wins, and the price of admission might be higher than anyone is prepared to pay. As the federal case against Durk and his crew intensified, the legal battles became a nightmare. The charges were to be dialect legacy, and his family's future were now in the hands of a federal judge. Despite Durk's rising star power, the damage caused by Jam's alleged betrayal was catastrophic. Multiple members of OTF were arrested, and the federal government was coming down hard on every level of the organization. The RICO case was designed to dismantle everything that had taken years to build. It wasn't just about arresting individuals, it was about using systematic surveillance to destroy an entire network. Lil Durk's trial, now set for October 2025, remains an open question. The delays only highlight how serious the case has become. The stakes are high, and Durk is caught in a web that he never expected to be entangled in. The key to his freedom will be cooperation. If the feds can get enough individuals to testify consistently, Durk's fate is sealed. But if the testimony becomes inconsistent or contradictory, the entire case could fall apart. OTF, once an organization built on loyalty and brotherhood, now faces devastating consequences. The legal implications, the loss of trust, and the emotional toll on everyone involved have been felt far beyond the music industry. The story of OTF Jam and Lil Durk serves as a warning to anyone who thinks that the rules of the streets will always protect them. Loyalty is priceless, but betrayal is even more costly. When the federal government decides to infiltrate and dismantle a criminal organization, no or. Not even the people you trust the most. In the end, the true price of loyalty, betrayal, and survival is far greater than anyone can imagine. The streets may have their own rules, but the feds play by an entirely different set, and they usually win. For Jam, the cost of betrayal was more than just losing his family's trust. It was his life. And for Durk, the cost of success was far steeper than anyone could have imagined. The house always wins when you play by street rules in a world governed by federal statutes. The final price? It's often far higher than anyone expects to pay.